Hello, peace seekers. This is Saniqua White dropping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. And today I want to talk about your weaknesses. And I want you to think about weaknesses from a different perspective, not so much as what you would say on a job interview, like what are your strengths and weaknesses. When I say weaknesses, what I'm talking about is what is your Achilles heel? What is it that would take you out if you fell into it? So it's like, think about Superman. Kryptonite is his weakness. It would actually kill him if he got too much of it. What is it in your life that if you got too much of it or any of it at all, it would take you out? Now, not necessarily would it physically kill you. It might, but not necessarily, but it might kill you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So you need to think about what those things are, and we all have them. So if you're thinking you don't have any weaknesses, then you're fooling yourself and you're being deceived. So think about what in this life. Some people have addictions, or their family, they come from a family line of addiction. Some people have money issues. Some people have food issues. So something that if you got any or too much, it is something that would take you down, possibly take you out, and not necessarily unto physical death, but unto some kind of death where you would go through a period of loss, to where you would have to grieve and recover and come back from this thing. I do have weaknesses, and my weaknesses have more to do with people rather than a thing or a vice or something like that. So I have to be very careful around certain people, and I have to set strong boundaries around certain people, or I will fall into things that hurt me. And again, not necessarily physically hurt me, but I have to be very protective of myself mentally and emotionally, just because of what I do. I work with people who are traumatized or depressed or anxious, or just trying to dig their way out of things to get back on track with life or to set life goals. And I have to be accountability partners for certain people. So I have to protect myself very well in the spaces of emotion and mentality. And certain people have an effect on me to where I'm drained, or I'm now experiencing my own anxiety, which I do struggle with to begin with. It's a kind of a family trait that I have to be careful about. So that is one of my weaknesses. And so I have to always be aware of that. I have to avoid things that would take me down that road where I would run into my weakness. Now, sometimes it cannot be avoided, because sometimes you just don't know that thing or that person or whatever you're going to encounter that. So sometimes you won't know. But to the best of your ability, you need to understand what your weakness is and work around it when and if you can. We're not going to always be able to get rid of our weaknesses, especially when they are people, and people maybe that are in our families or in our job settings or wherever we have to go on occasion. But these are things, people, places, whatever, that you need to set strong boundaries around, because like Superman, it is your kryptonite. It will take you out, possibly kill you, not always physically, but it will take you to a place in your mind, in your heart, in your emotions, in your feelings that you don't want to go. So I know this is not a pleasant topic to talk about and think about, because you do have weaknesses, but it's better to know what they are rather than to let them get a hold of you. You don't ever want to run face first into your weakness because you wouldn't acknowledge it, or you don't know what it is. You always want to be aware of what it is so that you can protect yourself to the best of your ability. So the question I'm asking you is, what are your weaknesses? You may only have one, and if you only have one, that's fantastic, because most of us have more than that. But be aware of what your weaknesses are. And again, this is not something that you would put on a job application or a resume. This is something that probably may not matter to your employer, but it would matter very much to you and your life and the success of your life and the things that you have planned, your goals, the results, the outcomes that you want in your life. You have to put boundaries around whatever those weaknesses are. So you have to acknowledge them and know what they are in order to be able to do that. So I hope this video is helpful. If it is, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. If you'd like to comment, I'd love to hear from you. I'll be back soon. But until then, be proactive about your mental health. Be well, and God bless.